Hello, my name is Patrick Tydd, and between February 19th and April 18th of this year in 2018, I successfully completed my final teaching placement at Bowral High School. During the course of this time, I investigated a series of research questions that I had created for the purposes of my studies at Newcastle University. These questions related to the implementation of the new Stage 6 English syllabi and the perceived extent and effectiveness of any associated professional development that staff had the opportunity to undertake. My first question was asking staff to describe the ways in which they have experienced professional development in relation to the gradual implementation of these new Stage 6 English syllabi. My second question was asking staff to reflect on and evaluate how effective they believe that professional development to have been. As it turned out, the head teacher of the English faculty I was working within at the school had worked previously as a NESO curriculum writer and Department of Education writer and consultant, and as such she had led professional development sessions extensively throughout the process at a state, regional and school level. Therefore, she stated, with a chuckle, that she of course would say that the professional development she had led in relation to the new syllabi had been very effective and appropriate, and that it might be more useful to ask some of the other staff their input in that regard. The other members of staff confirmed that they had received 2 evening sessions of 3 hours each to plan the faculty's program around the new syllabi. They also stated that professional discussions within the staff room in relation to the topic had been ongoing and constant. Staff broadly agreed that the syllabi implementation sessions were exceptionally useful because they allowed the whole faculty to understand the new syllabi and to contribute to meaningful planning. However, there was also a consensus that more follow-up sessions would have been greatly desired. These findings do not surprise me, as I believe that there is never enough time or resources for as much professional development sessions as teachers would ideally like. However, it sounds like what they were offered was largely well received. My third question was asking English faculty members to describe what they see as possible positive and negative implications relating to the changes in the new syllabi and how these might be measured. The teachers stated that it may be too early to give a full answer to that question, as they had only taught one of the new units so far. However, they stated that there is quite a bit of change, and this would mean that teachers must rewrite units, which means extra work. Teacher perspectives on how burdensome this would be were varied, but they broadly felt that nonetheless starting fresh could ultimately end up being a good thing for both students and teachers. That said, concern was raised that the NESO units provided have a tendency of coming out quite late, which means implementing them on a shorter time frame than desired. So staff therefore felt that while the changes themselves were desirable, the circumstances of the support provided were somewhat less than perfect. The staff members also broadly acknowledged their uniquely positive situation in having a head of faculty with such a level of insider knowledge who could be turned to as a source of particularly helpful support. This head of English faculty also felt that the funding to the Department of Education to provide units of work for all schools from all sectors would be largely very positive, regardless of any mistakes or problematic implications relating to the timing of the rollout of these units. The English Teachers Facebook page was also broadly praised as a notable and useful platform for collegial support and collaborative professional learning. While one member of staff indicated that she was given the impression that the English Teachers Association units would be free for members, she just later received the impression that this would not be the case. However, the English head teacher for the faculty provided me with a link, which you should be able to see now, at which I could access the mesh units, as they are called, which she had been involved in developing at a leadership level. My final question was in relation to how many currently existing resources would be incompatible with the new Stage 6 syllabi, and whether this was a source of frustration for English staff or not. The staff largely indicated that while yes, the area of study and some modules are completely different, this was to be expected, and some texts are transferable, as are the general reading and writing skills that they teach. The head teacher was particularly excited about the changes, however she acknowledged that others may feel differently. In conclusion, my findings supported my initial suspicions that despite some flaws in implementation, the new Stage 6 English syllabi offers some exciting aspects for teachers and students, and may, although it also may not, still yet prove to, broadly speaking, be a general improvement. Thank you for listening.